Ari Aster is back with Eddington. I have been looking forward to this picture so much. I think Aster is one of the most original filmmakers working today. In Eddington, our main character is Joaquin Phoenix as the sheriff of the title town, and takes place during the summer of 2020. What Aster seems to be wanting to do here is hold the mirror up to us, the public, and point out how crazy we all seemingly became during that time frame, and consequently have only gotten more out of control in the intervening years. But Aster doesn't take a side. He merely plays the event straight and allows us the opportunity to laugh at what we think is ridiculous. There are obvious points where he wants to make us laugh, but one thing I'm thankful for is that he doesn't choose sides. Here we are with another film that is going to and has divided people. I don't know if it's because they didn't like some of the satire, or it hurt their feelings, or the story doesn't go where they wanted it to go. Well, I'm only here to tell you what I thought of Eddington. I love this movie. If Hereditary was about grief, Midsummer was about a breakup, and Beau is Afraid is about anxiety, well, Eddington for me is about communication, or lack thereof. One of the most beautiful things about this picture is that it highlights one of the biggest problems we have faced since the pandemic, and still do today, is that we don't listen to each other. Phoenix's character appears to be an old school libertarian of sorts. He means well and seems to be a good man. He just thinks that mask wearing has gotten way too far out of hand. And maybe he was right. This is coming from someone who still wears his mask, by the way. His main adversary in the film is Pedro Pascal, who is the mayor of the town, and we have two people running for the same position for entirely different reasons. But this film isn't really about that. It has clever satire surrounding it, including some hilarious stuff around campaign slogans and a noise disturbance sequence. But this film is only using that as the story anchor to show how out of control everyone was becoming, and how influenced by social media we all were. There are people in this film who do participate in the protests for genuine reasons, but some do it merely for clout, and the picture wants you to see that. The protests of 2020 were significant and I think wonderful, but there were many people who didn't care about the cause. They only cared about the attention. One of the funniest scenes in the film is when a young man is sitting at a dinner table with his parents, talking about being sorry for who he is, and the reaction from his parents after the amazing build-up is, there is no other way for me to put this, fucking hilarious. But as I said at the start of the video, this is an even-handed story. So they show a character who is obsessed with conspiracy theories and will fall asleep at their laptop listening to people on podcasts say the most ridiculous stuff you have ever heard. And then this person will print up the article she's reading and string them all around the house for the people living with her to find. So it's making fun of everybody. One thing that makes this picture so great is no one is really the villain. Emma Stone is Joaquin Phoenix's wife, and she is someone who begins falling down the hole of being easily manipulated when she meets a group of people led by Austin Butler. I think this relationship is underwritten and doesn't nail the full depth of where Aster wants to take her, but if you lived through that time, as we all did, you know why Emma Stone is the way she is in the film. Anxiety is a crippling feeling, especially when you keep getting told there is no hope. No one in this film is presented as a villain, mostly. Just that everyone is on one end of multiple arguments and all of them are screaming and yelling and causing ruckus, but none of them are truly listening to anyone but themselves. This may be thinly sketched, but that's by design. Aster said in an interview that I watched after seeing Eddington that one of the films that inspired him for this was the great 1971 film The Last Picture Show. And I can see it. That was about a dying town. Eddington is about a town murdering itself from within. This is also a Western in presentation, which is brilliant, but I worry that's where a divide could happen for people because they know Aster as a maker of horror films, and this film is only a horror film in seeing the horror we inflict on ourselves. I could see the comparisons to films like No Country for Old Men here, but oddly, I got vibes from the great and underrated film Red Rock West from 1993 starring Nicolas Cage. In that one, Cage is someone who is thrown into a situation he doesn't know he got into. Eddington is basically if everyone watched watching it was Nicolas Cage's character from that film, unsure of how the hell these things we see get so out of control so fast. There's a shift in tone in the third act after a sequence involving a purse, and this is the other thing that on an initial viewing didn't fully land for me. But I can't fault it that much because the last 30 minutes are some of the best shot and tense sequences I've seen in a film in 2025. I'm not sure as of now what it means for the overall narrative, if anything, but there is a long sequence with no music, and it is plain beautiful to watch. I love this movie. I can't recommend it enough. We follow Phoenix most of the picture, but as the piece keeps presenting itself, you realize that it's a drifting type of story that is more about what all of us were going through in 2020, without giving us a concrete answer, because there really isn't just one answer, except that no one listened to each other. That's the film's thesis to me, and it's a true work of beauty. This is one of the best films of the year, and it may be my favorite Ari Aster film, though all of them are very good to great. So we'll see how time feels about this, but as of now, this is a great film that everyone needs to see. It may be about dark subject material, but it is straight up hilarious. And just as I said in my review of The Last Supper, sometimes the best type of comedy is the kind that isn't afraid to take the piss out of everyone. I give Eddington 4 stars out of 4. Ari Aster just keeps making banger after banger, and when you have someone as dynamic as Joaquin Phoenix at the top of the cast, you know it's going to be something. Look at his performance in this and then the one from Beau is Afraid, and you almost can't recognize the two performances. This is such a great work, a wonderful film, and that is my review. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this, please like and subscribe. Here's links to my other videos. Follow me on social media if you like. And until next time, I am Ghost.